Northeast Stars definitely have intentions of making a serious impact. You know, with the signing of the new coach, AngusEve, we feel that it would benefit not just the club in terms of being competitive, but also the younger players in terms of development. We think that Angus is one of the best local coaches that we have around. His experience in the youth development is very good for what he brings to our club at Northeast Stars. We think his experience and exposure in the most recent tournament, in the National 23 tournament, has actually risen his knowledge and his experience to the extent that we now believe that playing locally would help him to really be a force to reckon with his knowledge alone. So imparting his knowledge on the youths and using these younger players here locally for the development of the sport and the continuity of the industry of football here in Trinidad, I think AngusEve is one of the best choices that Northeast Stars could make this season. Well, football in Grandy is extremely difficult. As you know, we have not been in Grandy since 2007. We dropped out in 2009 because of the facilities problem here at Sani Grandy, and still the facilities remain the same way. They have indicated to the public, the community of Sani Grandy, that there is work to be done on the Northeastern Sporting Complex. We have seen work started on the pavilion, however the ground conditions remain the same, and 2012-2013 season would continue to see us participating in Arima. Most likely we would hope to have the use of the Larry Gomes Stadium once again, and we would want to incorporate the velodrome, if not for a couple of our home games, at least for 2 or 3, you know. I think bringing the football to the people in a community is important for the survival of that industry. Football presently is, I would say, not supported well enough physically by the presence of people attending matches. We see the knockout tournaments having these large numbers, 3,000 to 5,000 average. Probably this year it probably dipped a little based on the extension of the league. However, we believe that once we move back into communities, that we could improve that 3,000 the knockout tournaments are getting into the league, converted to the league, and really improve it to that 3 to 5, you know, even possibly 6,000 to 7,000. The velodrome is ideally suited, is in the heart of Arima. It's like part and parcel of the business community. It's walking distance. Is for me, is the most ideal venue that there is in Trinidad and Tobago. So playing in Arima is one, but playing in the velodrome will be this year our ultimate goal in trying to acquire that permission or the use of the facilities there. Well, the challenge is always and will always remain Darryl. They indicated that the parking facilities really limits us to what our intentions are in developing it into a premium facility in this area. The concern with respect to Northeastern Sporting Complex, where we have seen in the past the ability to attract between 2,000 to 3,000 people, and the problem for even parking there also is so difficult. The corporation, Sani Grandy Corporation, indicated that they would like to consider other options. However, we have not yet been able to materialize any kind of negotiations with the existing regime that is there presently. You know, we hope someday that we could return to Sani Grandy and really do represent the community in which we originated from. The Northeast Stars name really is the birth and the name of the club following the region that we cover. And this region, you know, this Northeast region have really suffered for high quality football prior to Northeast existence. And we coming into the community in the past have clearly showed that the support for the sport of football in this region is far greater than any other community within Trinidad and Tobago. So I would say that we have the record for the highest turnout to league games ever in the Pro League since the Pro League existence in 2002. So coming back to the region of Sani Grandy is, you know, that is really what we would all like to see happen. However, you know, from a individual standpoint, being the owner of Northeast Stars, it is extremely difficult at this point to say how soon or if it might ever happen.
With all these obstacles in your way, what actually motivates you to stay in the Pro League and continue with the football?
Well, really is the industry. You know, the industry of football creates this employment for the youngsters, and contributing back to the social arm in society is important for any business person to want to be involved or engaged in. The key thing here really is the survival of the industry of football. I think that we, holistically speaking, the TNT Pro League, involving all the other members, club members, we employ a lot of youths. You know, we keep a lot of youths off the streets. When we look at the youth programs that each club must have, and you check the numbers in each of these clubs, who get stipend, who get paid, the age these players get paid from 17, 18 as they leave school, you have a job, you have some form of income. It really detracts, it takes you away from thinking negative. It takes away that idle time where they say idle time finds this mischief to do. You know, football creates a certain level of discipline, and in that discipline comes, you know, development. Because anybody who has been brought up with a certain amount of discipline tend to always consider the good more than the bad. So sometimes we might be around the peers that who may be able to say, well, look, let me go and do something that is not right. And then the good one might say, well, I know in that, you know, look at our little football match down the road or a little game football, let me go and look at something. And that good might be able to influence the bad and going to do a good. So the industry of football really, for me, is the grassroots sport in keeping these youths off the street. And keeping them off the street is very, very important. You know, most recent I had an experience, not nice, where I was robbed at gunpoint, big broad daylight, middle of the day. And, you know, when I look at these youths and them, clearly you could see 22, 23, and when you analyze it, it's real pain out there. These guys and them, some of them have a little child, little kid on the block, no food upon the table, how to pay the bill, what to wear, how to send the child to school. So sometimes, you know, not really saying that they should, but sometimes these guys say that they have no option, they have no choice. So in the industry of football or any sport that we could create an industry where employment is gained, I think it's always good for the development of the communities that we reside in, the development of the country on a whole. So providing employment is, I think, is extremely good, and any businessman should always engage once it's affordable to try to contribute to society by giving employment as much as possible.
It's a great feeling. Firstly, you know, I'm really happy to be a part of the Northeast family now, because I think the President, Mr. Mahabir, have done so much to do in football over the years, and he has lamented such, you know, when he said that, you know, he want to put back into the youths and that kind of thing. And that is my hopes and my dreams and aspirations. You know, I really love developing people. I love seeing youths come from something, from nothing, and become something. You know, me being from a background of the ghetto in Carnage, what we call one of the hot spots now, we call it. You know, I love the opportunity to help other people to come out of that scenario, and the chairman of the president of the club has also said the same thing. So, you know, that was me buying into the project that he wanted to start here and bringing the club back into prominence, and also going into the communities, which I think is very invaluable to the communities that we keep, you know, with what's going on in the country right now, to keep a lot of kids off the street and doing something positive. So, you know, I love the way that the club wants to go, and I've bought into all the ideas that the president has. Well, I've worked with senior players at Mapa. I've worked with them at Jablote. So it's not something new for me. I wasn't the head coach of those teams. That's the only difference in the dynamic. But I think I have gained the respect of players in the league as a player and as a coach. And you know, as I said, we want to have a nice balance here of young players and experienced players to help along those young players so they could be all the best that they could be. You know, coming in here, the people at the club also have a lot of experience that, you know, I can tap into and all that kind of thing. So, you know, those experiences with the national 23s and one little stint with the senior team has helped me tremendously to develop my coaching skills and my ability to deal with players with big egos. So, you know, I think I relish the opportunity to come here and try to help the club with the ability that I've gained and the experience that I've gained and also to help move the league forward.